Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sasha, for taking the time today.
Of course.
I got to ask you, first of all, how does it feel, the reception that Twisters has gotten?
Oh, it's so relieving. I like, you always get a little bit anxious when anything drops, but also just because it was Twisters. But it feels really nice that everyone has been super stoked about it. So
It's so good. I brought my 11-year-old to the screening and she had a blast. And she
oh,
hadn't even seen the original. So we went back and watched it. So, how does it feel to you that you're really introducing a new generation to Twisters and Twister?
it's such a wild perspective, like growing up on something, and then there's like a few things I feel like that have been made, and then they've done their own versions, but it's still been through the same kind of group.
Mhm.
So it's like very interesting to talk to even like my sisters who are like, no, I've never seen Twister, and it's like, oh well, welcome.
I know. Well, that's what I love about this is I feel like this is a standalone, right? There's little nods here and there, but like you really can enjoy this without having seen the first one.
Yeah, and it's also just with the times, like that was a specific time, and now I think also we're in a different climate, different place, different technology, and so it really feels like it is allowed to be its own thing without having to justify anything and just be like, I mean, now it's everything's more intense and updated. So really, it's leave us alone.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I gotta ask you, like, what was it like with this cast? Is everyone, you guys seem like you had a blast. So
Yeah, everyone's cool. Everyone was super nice. I'm really not good at interacting well, like outside of it's just not my nature. But what I liked is I remember initially in our group chat, I was like, listen, just because I say no doesn't mean I don't want to be around you guys, or like keep asking and
mhm.
eventually I shall trickle out. And I remember I finally did and I was like, I really like you guys. I need to do this
Aw.
more often. But they're easy. Everyone was super easy, super chill, stoked to be there. And like, that's just the best energy you can ask for.
Oh, I love it. Now you guys went to like a weather boot camp or something, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to, what was it? I guess we went to the actual like weather station. There's a dog coming in, just sit. Um, and we got to do kind of like go through all the ins and outs about tornadoes and how it originated in terms of not how it originated, but like where even like the sirens came from and just how
Mhm.
they operate and how they send out alerts. And we got to go into the rooms and see everyone working. And I was like geeked. It was so cool.
That's gonna be cool. Did you learn anything like that you'll stick with you now about tornadoes?
I just think the fact that because I grew up, I remember like playing in the park or whatever and hearing the sirens go off, and it was like my time to dip. But the fact that they'd only just recently had those installed because they were at first afraid that alarming people and alerting them to a tornado would cause a really crazy reaction and might make people like over panic or freak out. So they didn't have it until I think it was, I don't know if Rick was a part of it, but it was when they first did it and it was like, oh, we just saved a lot of lives. We should we should keep doing this. It's actually really nice to be able to track so people can properly prepare. Like, yeah, they're going to freak out a little bit, but now I feel like, we're all kind of like, that's actually nice to know, but I'm not going to over panic over something, but like, it's nice to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, saves lives, right? Like I'd rather people be alive and maybe panicking a little bit than like,
Right. It's
yeah,
like, I think and it wasn't even like social media and all that too. So it's like, it's literally just people in their home being aware. But
yeah, to like prepare themselves for it.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy like that something like this really makes you realize like what forces nature has. Like it's insane how powerful that is. So, but what was it like on set when they were creating the tornado environments?
It was cool. It was like I love the fact that we weren't really on a stage. We really were just on location most of the time. And the fact that they brought like airplane jets in, and it was kind of embarrassing though. Sometimes you're supposed to be running to the right and I'm being blown this way. And I'm like, I'm genuinely, I know where I'm supposed to turn. I just can't.
That's so funny. I didn't even think about stuff like
Yeah,
that.
they were strong. And you just have like popcorn being thrown in your face and like but it made it real. It made it feel real. It didn't have to. There was no like, ah, this is terrifying. It's like, no, there's actually dust in my eye now, and yeah, it was cool.
One of my favorite stills that came out is that one in the theater. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
What was that like?
that was fun. I love the idea of like being on a harness. I love the idea of doing any type of stunt. Um, I will say a part of me is like, really, his boot? Like y'all had to play me like that.
Yeah.
But I also one point we were doing the stunt, rehearsing it, and I was just having such a good time that I forgot that I do physically need to grab onto him. And I just flew up and they had to catch me. And I was like, oh, this isn't
Yeah.
seriously, Glenn, please grab me. So I actually very much did rely on him to reach out so I would remember and stop having fun. And
Was that scary to just fly backwards like
yeah,
that?
because there was a stage behind me. And so I just remember looking up and had to tuck my feet, and the guy caught me, and I was like, oh my God, I need to be in the moment. I'm just having too much fun.
Oh, I love that. I love that that was so much fun though.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about this movie, like I said, I brought my 11-year-old, and in the scene where everyone's kind of helping the people after the aftermath, she
Yeah.
started crying, like she was so into that moment. And so I love that they show what actually the devastation, right, that
Yeah.
happens, because I think that's important. So can you talk about them bringing that into the screen?
I mean, it's a real thing. Like I said, growing up around here and just realizing sometimes you think, and even with like the storm chasers, you think, oh, those people are like wild, they're just adrenaline junkies. But the actual reality is it tears people's homes apart and it tears their neighborhoods apart. And a lot of the times it doesn't get rebuilt.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It just takes a lot, and with hurricanes and everything. And so it's like to respect Mother Nature is to also acknowledge and recognize the destruction that comes with that, and like the heartache and the loss from that. Even if you didn't lose your family, but you lost a home that you grew up in, or the library or schools and stuff like that. So it's just I'm really glad that they put an honest emphasis on that, and so it's not just about being wild and chasing storms. It's There's a reason why people put their lives at danger for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that they added that in. And then final question, I got to ask you, everyone's talking about, should there have been a kiss? Should there not have been a kiss? What do you think? How do you feel?
I like that because it's funny. I went in thinking they were going to kiss because I knew that they were filming that scene. And then just when they're building up and we're watching the end of the film, the fact that they don't, I was like, ah, well played. I agree with it not being that moment. I don't think there always needs to be that. And I know people are disappointed, but that's just because they want to see people kiss. But I'm like, I like that they're like, wait, we actually, we can do that later. Just
Exactly.
save it for another time.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and congratulations. Like I said, I love this movie. So
Thank you, Tess. I appreciate it.
thank you.